Here's a discussion of how to handle quotations effectively in an essay talking about literature. Quotations are your evidence. They allow you to demonstrate your ideas. So you need to be able to bring them effectively into your paragraphs and into your discussion. Here are some of the things that you need to be doing when you quote. You need to prepare your reader with some context so that the reader knows what the quotation is about. When you use the quotation, it should be smoothly built into your own writing, your own sentences, and your own paragraph. You should select only what is useful to your argument and significant to your main idea, and you should make sure to point out what that significance is. You should analyze the quoted material. And if you do all of those things, you will actually help your paragraph hang together. Your quotations will contribute to the sense of purpose and unity and coherence in the paragraph. Now, what I'm going to show you are a couple of examples, an example of not very well done quotation, and then an example of improved quotation. I'm not going to talk about formatting, punctuating the quotation, the rules for citing your sources. In fact, you'll see that I haven't even bothered to put the page numbers of my sources here. So I'm not interested in that in this discussion. I just want to talk about how you design your paragraph so that the quotations are easy for the reader to understand. Okay, so here is my example of ineffective handling of quotation. And at any point now you can pause the video and read through the paragraph if it's helpful for you. You don't need to know much about the subject of this paragraph. I'm writing here about a short story by David Means called The Tree Line, Kansas, 1934. And it's a good story, it's worth reading, but you don't have to have read the story to understand the examples. Let's just say maybe you need to know that Lee and Barnes are the two main characters in the story. They are FBI agents. They are staking out a farmhouse waiting for a gangster to show up. The gangster's name is Carson, and he may be showing up at his uncle's farm to look for some buried money. So here's my paragraph. I'm going to jump right into the paragraph. Let's have a look at this first sentence. Lee and Barnes spend 5 days waiting for Carson and his gang to show up at Carson's uncle's farm. Okay, that's the first sentence of my paragraph, and it's not a very good one. If it's a topic sentence, it doesn't tell the reader what the main idea of the paragraph is. Instead, it gives a plot summary, and the effect of that is that the rest of the paragraph isn't clarified. We don't know what this paragraph is supposed to be about, and as a result, when we get to the quotation which follows, we have no idea what the point of the quotation is. So this is what I'm calling a dropped quotation. It has just been tossed into the paragraph, and the reader is left to puzzle over it, not knowing what it is that the reader should be evaluating in the quotation. What do we need to pay attention to here? It's not at all clear. So you need to prepare for that quotation with a sentence or a remark that provides some context and gives the reader a sense of what to look at. Okay, the next sentence, Lee lets Barnes talk and tolerates Barnes's theories but doesn't respect them. This is a useful sentence, but it comes too late. It's after the quotation, and it should have come earlier. In fact, it's such a general remark that it might be useful at the beginning of the paragraph. Maybe this is a better topic sentence than the one the paragraph actually has. The next sentence, After 5 days, Lee dismisses Barnes's ideas by pointing out that if Carson has buried money on the farm, he'll come to get it. All right, this is a useful sentence too. It tells us something about what Lee thinks of Barnes, but it also doesn't lead to the next quotation. So when we get to this quotation, again, it's a dropped quotation. We don't know what we're looking for when we're reading this quotation, and the writer hasn't prepared the reader to understand the significance or to pick out the elements that are important. What we're supposed to pay attention to here is that, again, this is what Lee thinks about Barnes, but we haven't really said that. All right. Again, we have a sentence: Barnes's habit of complaining about their task is inappropriate behavior for an FBI agent. Okay, this is actually what the previous quotation indicates. So this comment could usefully come before that quotation because it orients the reader and gives the reader a sense of the purpose of the quotation. So it would be much better earlier. It's actually not that great a sentence because the focus should be on that this is on Lee's opinion of Barnes rather than that Barnes does this. The quotation above this sentence is what Lee thinks about Barnes, and you need to remind the reader that that's what it is. Okay, the final quotation is yet again a dropped quotation. Here the quotation is about Barnes's speech style and how this irritates Lee, but we haven't said that, and we haven't prepared the reader or commented after the quotation. We haven't really done anything with the quotation except just throw it in there. And the paragraph ends in a way that you should avoid. It ends with a long quotation and nothing else. You should instead try to end with your commentary on a quotation so that the paragraph has a sense of finality because you are saying something. All right, let's jump to the same material, the same ideas, the same quotations more or less, but set up better and handled so that the reader can understand them more effectively. Okay, the first thing that you'll see here is an effective topic sentence. The first sentence ends with this idea: he, that is Lee, thinks little of what Barnes says and how he says it. Well, that's what the paragraph is going to show. Lee's attitude towards Barnes's ideas and style of speaking. So that focus on an idea allows the rest of the paragraph to have a clear purpose and allows the quotations to have a clear function. All right, here in the next sentence, if you recall in the previous slide, I quoted a whole an entire sentence from the short story with those words inside there somewhere. Here I'm discarding most of that sentence because the four useful words are these ones: play out his theories. So I'm putting that in my own sentence. After letting Barnes play out his theories for 5 days about the gangster Carson's methods and psychology, Lee rejects those theories with a simple point, etc. So here I'm quoting what is useful because those words indicate that Lee doesn't have much respect for Barnes's ideas. These ideas are merely theories that he plays out. So I've reduced the quantity that I'm quoting and sharpened my focus on the significant words. All right. You'll notice that I'm quoting the same material as in the previous paragraph, but instead of quoting first and then getting around to explain or provide context, I'm trying to do the context first. So those two sentences that I've underlined anticipate the meaning of the quotation and allow the reader to know what is coming. Lee is offended by Barnes's habit of complaining about their task. Okay, what's coming after that is an example of Lee being offended by Barnes's habit. the second sentence, for Lee, Barnes's talkativeness is childish and his manner of speaking is pretentious. Well, that sentence gets us ready for the quotation that will show what Lee dislikes about Barnes's way of speaking. Okay, so we've turned it around here and anticipated the quotation in a way that makes the reader's experience smoother. All right. The other big change, of course, is that we've added a sentence after the long quotation. The analytical comment at the end, it completes the thought that is started by the quotation. We end with analysis. We don't simply trail away with a long quotation whose purpose has not been fully examined. Okay. One last thing that I think is worth pointing out. Notice how all of that work of orienting and providing context so that the reader is ready for the quotation, notice how that work also helps to emphasize the main idea that I have highlighted at the top of the paragraph. The topic sentence is about Lee's attitude or opinion, attitude towards or opinion of what Barnes says, and all of the underlined words reflect or connect to that topic sentence, so that when I anticipate what the quotation is going to do, when I provide that context material, I am also reminding you as the reader of the main idea of the paragraph. So the careful use of quotation actually contributes to the paragraph's coherence. It makes the paragraph come together and be unified. All right, that's it.